Very good evening to everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to have all of you, for this live and interactive webinar that is hosted by IIM Calcutta and VCNow. We are grateful for your kind attendance today. We would also like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speakers, Professor Mritiunjoy Mohanty and Professor Biswatosh Saha and from IIM Calcutta for taking their valuable time out of their busy schedule and to be here with us to address us all. The theme of today's webinar is harnessing strategic management for high impact leadership. As you know, strategy execution is a key element of strong leadership, and it involves translating the goals and objectives of the organization into tangible plans that can be implemented and monitored. IIM Calcutta, through its advanced program in strategic management for corporate leaders, has been helping working professionals to drive organizational success and create a competitive edge by leveraging strategic management principles. This particular program, this intensive 6 months program, which has successfully completed 14 editions till now, you'll be glad to know that over the last many years, has been continuously enabling corporate leaders to expand their insight into different strategic management theories, models, and practices that are essential for success in today's business environment. The program covers a variety of industry-relevant topics such as strategic thinking, strategies in the digital economy, firm strategy, mergers and acquisitions, and much more, that helps participants translate strategy into value-driven decisions. I would quickly introduce both our esteemed speakers of today. Dr. Mritiunjoy Mohanty is Professor of Economics at IIM Calcutta. He is a PhD from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, Center for Economic Studies and Planning, New Delhi. He has published widely, among other things, on globalization and India's growth strategy. He has also taught in other universities, both in India and abroad. He was the group coordinator, economics group at IIM Calcutta from December 2003 to April 2006, and also an elected member of the Board of Governors of IIM Calcutta from November 2011 to November 2013. I would now introduce Professor Saha. Dr. Biswatosh Saha is Professor of Strategic Management at the IIM Calcutta. He is a PhD from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and BTech from Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. He has pursued extensive work in the area of strategic management and has received many accolades for his research work. He has also co-authored many books and journals, which are used across premier B schools for academic inputs. In today's session, you will get a detailed overview of the curriculum, the pedagogy, and the expected outcomes of this course. And you'll also gain from the wisdom and expertise of our prestigious guests. I would humbly request all participants to remain on mute during the session. If you have any questions, you can submit it on the chat box. We will certainly open up for a Q&A after the program directors finish off their discussion. And as we move forward there, I would not like to take too much time introducing further and put the forum on to both our distinguished professors to take it on from here. Over to you, professors.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pulak, for the introduction, and thanks everybody for joining in. The purpose of this short interaction is to provide you a little glimpse of the kind of things that we attempt to do in this 6-month program that has been running for more than a decade now. This is a very old program. So this program was designed. Let me begin by sharing the insight behind the design of the program, what made us design this program. And we are one of the pioneers in recognizing the requirement of the kind of inputs that go into this program. Our interaction with managers across the country over a period of time tells us that in Indian organizations, you see, till fairly senior levels in the organizations, people do not have P&L responsibilities, where management and what you do in your work, your KRAs, if you start thinking about it, KRAs are mostly around the top line in various forms, either it's sales or it's production or it's quality or some other parameter. They are all top line parameters. So it's only at a certain high level of the organization, maybe top management team, CEO plus minus one level, that you get a ROI responsibility, a profitability responsibility as part of your KRAs. And that transition is a very tricky and very difficult transition to make, because people have been groomed up in top line thinking for most of their, say, 20 plus years of their career as they have risen inside the organization. Now, the moment you move to a ROI kind of responsibility in your KRA, trade-offs and evaluating trade-offs become very, very important. And the decisions that people in those positions, whom we are calling leaders in this program, they make decisions which can either change the direction of the organization. You are beyond the implementation arm of the organization. You are, in a sense, responsible for the creative dimension of the organization. A leader can ruin an organization. Leader can take an organization to a great height, to a new level, in a totally different direction, into uncharted territories. So what we realized is it is at that level of when you take that, you get those powers and you get the authority to take those ROI decisions. That is where your decisions become directional in nature. You can change the direction of the organization. You are much beyond an implementation arm of somebody else, right? Now, this program precisely attempts that transition. Many people go into leadership roles, get these responsibilities, but experience would not have taught them how to think like a person with a ROI KRA. They still continue to think like somebody with a top line KRA, and this is a major problem in many organizations. So one major theme around which we build this course is to help you transition into roles which have ROI responsibilities. And that immediately means a lot of different facets. You have to understand trade-offs, you have to understand political balancing of organizations, because what you decide at that position as a leader makes a lot of difference to the whole organization, to maybe lakhs of people who are working inside that organization. And we think that this playing out this role very well, even if you are thrust into such a role before you prepared yourself for it, requires some amount of training. So this is the focal point of the design of the whole course. It weaves around this whole sense of how do I play my role where I am responsible for the profitability and the sustenance of this organization, its survival. And one important dimension of survival of an organization, a commercial organization, that you must continue to make profits at reasonable levels. I'm not arguing that you should be maximizing profit. No, but most organizations have to return money to their shareholders at levels that make them happy. Without that, your organization doesn't survive over a long period in time. So you are at that level of leadership, the custodian of the organization's safety, security, sustenance, right? And whether the organization lives long, plays out its role, and meets the requirements and obligations that he has to multiple stakeholders with which you interact, depends on how the leader plays out that role. And that would depend on how the leader understands that role. This is where a little bit of training, a little bit of conceptualization, conceptual thinking, etc., comes as a lot of help. The other thing that we attempt in this course in terms of broad objective is, and once you come into the course, you'll realize that there are a lot of dialogues that we have, lot of conversations and a lot of debates. And in the process, what we attempt is to break your existing ideas. And again, if you take that allegory till a fairly high level of the organization, you are actually with a top line KRA, you are the implementing arm of somebody else's idea. And suddenly you are thrust into that role where you take the decision and you have an implementation arm, and you can feel the weight of that risk. The risk is on your shoulder in some sense. Now, at that level, now you are suddenly would get exposed to many other dimensions which you would not have experienced when you had a top line responsibility, because your boss was shouldering all of those dichotomies, ambiguities, the political ambiguities in interacting with your ecosystem. And he was, in some sense, he or she was shielding the rest of the organization from all that uncertainty. because they absorb all those uncertainties, create frameworks which absorb it and pass it down the organization for implementation. So as long as you are in a KRA role, right, KRA top line KRA role, you are in, may I say, safer zones. Once you are thrust into an ROI role, you face that uncertainty in your everyday decision making. So it requires firstly to unlearn many kinds of straight-jacketed ideas with which we have grown, depending on where we have grown, in which function we are an expert. One has to become cross-functional, which means marketing has to understand the constraints of production, production has to understand the problems of quality, right? Everybody has to understand the process problems of compliance, auditing, and so on and so forth, which marketing managers don't understand too well. What is so important about audit? But once you are thrust into that role, you see, you are the guardian and the custodian of all the functions. But in terms of experience, you would have grown in only one function or two functions, right? Nobody travels across and becomes an expert in everything and then becomes a general manager and a leader. You will still be strong in one department. Say you are a strong marketing guy or a strong production guy or a strong finance guy, where you have a general management responsibility, which means you need now frameworks to understand and weave together and integrate all the requirements of different functions. And then you will understand what you are dealing with inside your organization. On the other side, with respect to the outside of the organization, you will face stakeholder groups whom you have never met. You have never met government representatives, for instance. As a top-line manager, you'd seldom meet ministers. You would not understand what is the interaction of the organization with the state and its arms. So all of those interactions also suddenly are thrust upon you. And you'd realize now that, well, I'm not equipped. Because I grew up in marketing. I understand marketing very well. But there are so many other things that I need to understand in order to play out my role of an integrating general manager, who is a strategist of the organization, who will give the direction to the organization, who sets the path in which the whole organization will travel, either for glory or for doom, right? And that's the risk, right? And that's the weight that is there on the shoulder of the strategic leader. So strategy actually provides you these frameworks, the conceptual tropes and understandings, frameworks, concepts, tools, and so on and so forth, to understand these uncertainties in various ways, understanding the perspective of multiple departments, multiple functions, multiple constituencies, multiple stakeholders, and how do you integrate them together to arrive at a trade-off, to take a call on a trade-off, to arrive at a decision, to prioritize something over something else, right? So if you go back to the theme that I talked about, helping managers move from top line roles to bottom line KRAs and KPIs. Yeah. This is a transformation, which is a transformation in perspective, transformation in managing ambiguities, transformation in understanding and empathizing other perspectives, right? Transformation in growing out of the framework and routines where I have traditionally, in terms of my own long years of experience, excelled, and to go beyond it and think about something else, right? So over 6 months of intense activity, which will include a lot of reading, a lot of real cases, which are like storylines that we'll give to you about what happened in maybe an American corporation, in the Tata Group, or in a small Indian firm, or a small Japanese firm. We'll pick up examples from all around the world, and then ask you to think about all those problems that the managers in real life faced at some point in history, right, in some other industry, right? And we'll talk very intensively about it. And through all of those exercises, we attempt to take you out of your old perspectives and help you understand the integrative perspective of what strategy concepts deal with. So this is a very hands-on course where we'll not just teach you the frameworks, we'll demonstrate how the frameworks work by making you work on them, right? And that's the way we follow, because we are attempting a perspective transformation in this course. It's not just about getting a few concepts, getting a few jargon straight, and some ability to draw some model and some, right? It's beyond that. We attempt changing the way you approach problems. We attempt changing the way you approach your business life. the way you approach negotiations, the way you approach conflicts, right? So that in some sense is, if I may say, at a broad level, at an objective level, what we try to attempt to do in this program. So may I take a break here and request Professor Mritiunjoy Mohanty, who has been there with me for this long period. And you would have noticed that I am from the strategy group and Professor Mohanty is from the economics group. So in design of this program itself, there is cross-disciplinarity woven in. So I have given you one perspective, and let's hear Professor Mohanty talk a little bit about how the design of the program and its evolution. He has been in the IIM Calcutta system for much longer than I am there. Yeah.
So thank you, Professor Saha, for that kind introduction to the program, to me. So let me pick up from where Professor Saha left off. So one of the things that he talks about is the fact that we ask you to look at the firm from the standpoint of the profit and loss account. And the moment you look at it from the profit and loss account, you have to think of the firm as the firm. You cannot think of it in terms of line departments and so on and so forth. And therefore, like he said, you'll have to think of trade-offs. You have to understand the point of view of you have to understand the point of view of marketing. You have to understand the point of view of finance. You have to understand the point of view of production, but ultimately also look at each of these as not things that might be met, those trade-offs. That you understand marketing, but you might have to prioritize the view of production. You understand production's view, but you might have to prioritize the view of finance. Now, how do you begin to prioritize is something we try and introduce you to, right? So the overall view of the firm, right? Strategy takes you out of line departments and presents you with the view of the firm, which is encapsulated in that profit and loss account. But let me also introduce another dimension to this, very much in line with how Professor Saha has outlined it. So besides the profit and loss account, we introduce you to the balance sheet. So the balance sheet, you will know, is how you raise money. Where do you raise money from? What are your assets? What are your liabilities? What do you take with that money? What do you do with the money that you take? Who are your stakeholders in terms of equity and so on and so forth? Now, remember the fact that the balance sheet only gives you one kind of ownership. It does not give you all stakeholders. The stakeholder, the term is way wider than that of the balance sheet. But you cannot address stakeholders without addressing the interests of those who own the firm. And the interests of those who own the firm are embedded in that balance sheet. So what is the relationship then between the profit and loss account and the balance sheet? Now, when you put these two together, this is what you call corporate governance. The corporate governance, is all kinds of jargon and all kinds of things, and people keep dropping this corporate governance thing whenever they want to talk about something. But no, it's simple. It's very straightforward. The balance sheet represents how money has been raised to finance the operations of the firm. The profit and loss account tells you how well that money has been used to run that firm. If I don't use my money well, I don't make money, it does not go into my balance sheet as money to be distributed as dividends. If I don't make money, then not only can I not meet the interests of the owners, I cannot meet the interest of other stakeholders. So now you look at it, the dimensions that emerge. You look at the dimensions that emerge in terms of the trade-offs that Professor Saha introduced you to. So one set of trade-offs come from the fact of running the firm in the everyday sense. Does my marketing get priority? Does finance get priority? Does production get priority? And these things change over time. If you're in a unique place, how do you establish the fact that you're providing a unique product or a service? You can only do it if you understand that uniqueness and put it there in terms of marketing strategy. Marketing is different from sales, and you all know this. But if there is a downturn, then it is not marketing that is going to play a role. It's finance that's going to play a role. Do I protect my bottom line? Do I protect my market share? The two are different. When I'm protecting my bottom line, I'm protecting my profit level, my profit rate. When I'm protecting a market share, I'm allowing my profit rate to come down, but I retain that market so that I can price tomorrow, right? But each of these decisions that are taken in the profit and loss account have ramifications for the balance sheet. I don't have to name firms. I don't have to name groups. But you see the world around you, and you can see when you miss the connection between profit and loss and balance sheet, you end up missing the forest for the trees. Now, let me also take you to another aspect which Professor Saha alluded to when he said that this is cross-disciplinary, this is multidisciplinary, and the advantages that come from working together. Professor Saha, other colleagues who teach in this program, he and I are joint program directors, but we are not the only program people who teach in this program. There are at least another 4 or 5 colleagues who come with changes over time, but there are about 5 or 6 people who will deliver the program to you. So what he said, and I'll go back to that, is the distinction that you make in the way you view the world from top line to bottom line, right? So from top line, you can have line, you can look at that, and that's your view. The bottom line introduces all of these trade-offs. The moment I get the bottom line, introduce the balance sheet, it introduces even other trade-offs. But what we introduce you to is also that the nature of the trade-off, is geographically specific, which is to say that Japanese capitalism is different from German capitalism, is different from American capitalism, is different from Indian capitalism. Now remember the fact that profit and loss account is an accounting piece. The balance sheet is another accounting piece. They talk the same things, but each of these accounts behave differently depending on where you are. So we introduce that to you to learn, not to become German, not to become Japanese, not to become American, but how these geographies look at these trade-offs. Finally, we also introduce you to some notion of the sorts of technological choices that are available and how firms deal with technology and make those choices. For example, where does Tesla come from? For example, Why is Toyota Toyota? How did Toyota become the first mover in hybrids, but has decided to take a completely different call on EVs? How do you explain that? How do successful firms sometimes miss the bus when it comes to technology? So these various aspects. Now, economics has a particular view of these. Strategy integrates those views. And what Professor Saha and I bring together as program directors is the ability to give to you a way of integrating each of these. He remains a professor of strategic management. I remain a professor of economics. But what the course delivers to you is more than strategic management, is more than economics. We use the tools of our discipline to give you a view of the firm which is rooted in the context in which it comes, yet dynamic in its responses as that context changes. So let me just say a couple of lines about the fact of, what it means to say that we are a NOL program, and we are. And we are very proud of the fact that this is the 15th year. The fact that it's an old program not only gives us a legacy, but it also tells us, or we have attempted to do, is that it has evolved. It has changed. The version of the program that you see for version 15 is significantly different from the version that was introduced in version 1. And some of that difference is the result of the feedback that we have got from our participants. Some of the difference is the difference that comes about because the world has changed from 15 years ago. Some of that difference comes about because the way Professor Saha views the world today is different from the way he viewed it 15 years ago. The way I view the world today is different from how I viewed it 15 years ago. Now, each of these things that evolve is reflected in the way the program itself has evolved. So, we urge you to think of this program as being cutting edge, not simply because we are from IIM Calcutta. We urge you to think of it as cutting edge because there simply isn't any other program in India that attempts to do anything like this. It might sound a grand statement, but let me tell you, I'll stand up and say this with all the certainty of my 63 years. Thank you.
I think I have, pretty well put by Professor Mohanty. Of course, mostly ascertaining that this is going to be one of the best, programs available in strategic management area in the market today, and undoubtedly so. And most of our past participants feel that way. I think we have a very short video which we would like to share here, just to hear, our earlier participants out, in the interest of the audience here. Jyotirma, if you can play the AV.
Just a minute.
program, the APSMCL, is because in my role, it is important to get the right clarity to strategy, because today strategy is a word that has not been defined well, and we do not get to understand that how our role specifically is aligned to the strategies that we make, and how does it aspire our organization to go to where we would like it to be. So I think this course has given me clarities now in order to question myself before I put a strategy out. In the last 6 months, it has given us enough of a sense with the program directors, with all the professors who have taken us through the journey. They have given us concepts, they have given us applications of these concepts across the globe in different organizations, in failure and in success. So that's how it becomes very important for people like us who are corporate leaders, who are leading functions, to understand strategy to that core.
I'm fortunate that I got this opportunity to do this strategic management course for senior corporate leaders. It has really added value. The last 6 months have been a great roller coaster ride of learning and has given me a new perspective. Most importantly, to keep an open mind and critical viewpoint to see the things as they are rather than get sold off to what is being shown. I'm truly indebted and in gratitude to Professor Saha and Professor Mohanty, who showed us the way how to think, how to actually be great leaders on our way, and also very importantly how to focus on one's own client.
This course helped me really understand what truly strategy is and have led me to question my beliefs which have gathered all through these years. We work on different cases, different case studies, which gives us a complete different perspective, which may not be directly applicable for our roles currently, but as a holistic view, it's very, very required and very, very essential. So I would recommend this to each and every aspiring leaders or leaders already who are at the leadership level as well, because I'm sure even if you come with decades of experience, this course will give you a new mirror altogether to look at how the world is.
Okay, thank you, Jyotirmay. Should we now actually, just give you a kind of snapshot of the framework of the program that we were discussing about, the Advanced Strategic Management Program for Corporate Leaders. This is in its 15th edition. We are very soon closing the applications for this particular program. So I'll share you some insights on the program front for the sake of those who have not yet evaluated this program still. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So in a nutshell, this particular program, the Advanced Program in Strategic Management for Corporate Leaders, is in the 15th cohort, that is the 15th edition. So this program has been there for the last 14-15 years, as Professor Mohanty and Professor Saha depicted, one of the oldest program in the market and pretty coveted. And, we have been witnessing very diverse batches throughout the years with a mix of industry, which I would also share. The program duration is of 6 months, and eligibility is that you need to have a graduation or a post-graduation with minimum 50% aggregate. And we also need a 7 years minimum work experience to apply. The mode of delivery would be direct to device, which is live online, including some, essence of campus modules. So here, if you see, quite a hectic, quite a part of the component of the program is delivered on the campus. So it is pretty campus heavy, in campus engagement heavy. So you have the opportunity to interact with the professors live within the campus. So there is a 10-day campus module, which is spread across 4 + 3 + 3. So the first one, as you begin the program, it comes to be of 4 days, and then 3 days at the middle and the 3 days at the end of the program. The session, the online, schedule of the sessions is going to be on Mondays evening. So after you finish off your office hours, that is 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. This is going to be every Monday, exception being those specific holidays that the institute would pre-announce. Certification, you would receive a certificate of completion once you successfully complete the program after getting evaluated by IIM Calcutta as per their norms. You are also bestowed with the IIM Calcutta Executive Education Alumni status, which is pretty coveted. The program fee for this program is 4,30,000 plus GST, which can be paid in 3 easy installments. We also have a loan facility, which based on the requirements, we share it to the individuals also. Just to give you a kind of a brief snapshot of the previous batch that we had, that is batch 14. So we had a 80-20 gender mix in terms of male and female. The entire education mix has been of graduates, postgraduates, and we had quite a few engineering graduates also, and including chartered accountants as well. The experience band, I would say that a maximum band came from 10 to 20 years, but however, we also had people, beyond 7 years as well. And we also had people who were more than 25 to 30 years of experience as well. So it has been a very diverse contribution in terms of cohort. The key industry representations has been from BFSI, IT, manufacturing, consultancy, telecom, pharma, healthcare, e-commerce, and FMCG. However, these are just indicative ones, but almost the participations were from almost 20 key industry segments altogether. Organizations from where our participants represented were from Infosys, Adobe, DRDO, Tata Steel, Accenture, Adecco, Dalmia Cements, Cisco, Lenovo. So pretty big brands and representations from, across the country. Just outlining a few benefits of the IIM, Calcutta Executive Education Alumni Status. So this is, you are awarded with this alumni status only once you complete the program successfully. So there are, active members currently from the long duration programs, 27,000 members. So wherein you get an opportunity to engage over the alumni portal. Once you complete the program, you get an email ID with the IIM Calcutta domain, once you complete. You can also access the overall, alumni of multiple programs that IIM Calcutta has. So there's a huge networking opportunity there. Of course, you can post your achievements, write-ups about jobs and live projects opportunities for other alumni to see and, refer to. This, of course, can be accessed from the alumni network through mobile phones or from mobile app also. And once you become an executive education alumni, you also are entitled for a discount of 5% as you go forward with other programs for the future programs also. And, so it will be a wonderful way to engage and leverage the system of being an alumni, apart from being, having the pride of being an alumni of India's top ranked business school. IIM Calcutta is one of the top ranked business schools in India. And also it is ranked amongst the top 50 across the world also, according to Financial Times survey. This is the sample completion certificate that you are awarded with once you complete the program successfully. A few, snapshots of our, previous batch which graduated recently. Professor Saha, Professor, Mohanty, awarding the certificates to the all eligible students. This is the batch which has graduated last year, batch 14. We would come to the contact details, but we will open up for the Q&A, right now. If you have any questions, we will open up for the questions here. Either you can raise your hand or you can post your query on the chat box, and we will try and respond to you as far as possible. For those queries which we are unable to respond to, we will definitely come back to you after the webinar. Yes, I think Rohit, Bhaskar has raised his hand. Bhaskar, you can come in. I think Bhaskar's audio is not functioning. Okay, we can come to Rohit then. Rohit has raised his hand.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Bhaskar. Yes, we can hear you, Bhaskar. Go ahead. I think again we have lost you. Okay, Praveen, can you come in by the time Bhaskar sets in?
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
I have a very simple question, Professor. I am with 30 plus years of experience in textile. And first the question, and then I will give the background of the question. Why none of the textile units or the companies like Raymond, Irvin could go multinational the way Mark Spencer, CNA, Inditex, H&M could do? This is my question. And why this question is bugging me, why this is hurting me. I'm basically a textile graduate of VCNow, postgraduate from IIT Delhi, and then I did my MBA from Nagpur University. And as rightly said by Professor, I was never responsible for PLN, profit and loss, or I was never responsible for ROI. But I had deep interest in how company functions. And hence, what happened when I'm not getting opportunity, I'm changing job. So I worked in 5 verticals of the industry. I started as a quality professional in Raymond, or I'll start last to first. My last assignment was with Donier to set up a new project, establish a new factory for knitting unit, knitting fabric, suiting fabric through knitting route. Knitting is my last domain specialization. I made a project, but they did not execute. Before that, I established a brand new greenfield project in Amravati. The project is called Sham Indofab Private Limited. I worked there right from inception, selection of machines, selection of site, liaison with all government agencies, like pollution control, MIDC, MSCB, health and safety, labor department, selected 564 employees, some 150 employees on contract, executed contract. I did all this peripheral job, but again, I was not responsible for ROI or profit and loss, because that was the owner-driven company, so he will not share many information or any information for that matter. Last assignment I did with Reed & Taylor as an head of operation, but there the organization was headed by one chartered accountant, a typical Marwadi fellow who will shout at everyone, and I lost interest. Within 6 months, I left that job, and now I am on a sabbatical. I am doing my course with IIM Calcutta in advanced marketing and strategic, advanced strategic management and business analytics. Just to understand, because I thought probably marketing is the reason why organizations are not going beyond the, and then I saw this course announced, and I thought maybe my answer is somewhere in strategic decision making, because I also worked with for 4 years with German multinational, where I established a brand new business for that company. Dystar is a parent organization, and we started a new business called Sustainable Textile Solutions. And from zero revenue we took it to almost $5 million within 3 years. With 2 employees, we took it to 73 employees across 18 countries. And I visited around 11 countries in the whole process. Then because I traveled so much, I spoiled my health, and I had to leave that job because job was demanding too much.
So, Praveen, what is your, I mean, if you could, share your question,
I shared my question. Why Indian textile organization could not become multinational? That is my question.
I mean, let us hear from, our esteemed professors.
Yeah, okay. Let me respond to it. Yeah, see, Praveen.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have never played an ROI role, right?
Correct.
The person who decides to take the export plunge is always the ROI person. right?
Okay.
And just recall what Professor Mohanty was saying. The balance sheet and the P&L account are same numbers, right? They should be similar across the whole world.
Correct.
But geography plays a very important role. The stage of development you are in plays an important role. The nature of capitalism in that place plays an important role. The laws plays an important role, right? So he said there's a German capitalism, there's a, right? So there's a way of thinking culturally embedded in institution, laws, right? Which also shapes the ROI decider, right? The ROI owner in some sense. So once you understand the ROI owner in terms of its general principles and of its particular institutional embedding, you will understand the difference between Indian capital and German capital also. Right. So the answer to your question maybe will come only at the end of this course. It's a whole process.
Okay.
You are right in saying that marketing is still a tool. You will develop the marketing department only if the ROI owner decides that, well, I have to set up a marketing department. I have to set up a branding department. I have to set up an R&D department, right? So that is the ownership of the ROI owner. Whoever is owning the capital, right? In this case, you said it's a family, so the family owns the capital. So to understand the nature of their thinking, and even if you are in not an ROI role, it will help you understand the ROI owner in your organization. You will better converse with them instead of getting frustrated at, right, what you think they're not understanding my point of view. You will be more empathetic to what they're wanting. So conversations will start. This is an experience which all our participants have had. Their conversations with top management became smoother, more productive, more interesting as they went through this program. Because you start to begin to understand the other side, right? You understand the role that you have never played so far. What does it involve? So gradually empathy comes in, right? And that's a transformation which happens. We can tell you from 14 years of seeing students go through this program, it happens to everybody in the course. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Let me just add to that very quickly. So when I finished my PhD, I took a lot of time to it. So about 30 or 31 years, 32, when I finished my PhD, I thought that I understood and I knew everything there was to know. At the age of 63, I actually know that I understand very little. But the moment I know that I understand very little, it then allows me to look at different points of view. All right? And what Professor Saha is telling you is that in a firm, whether I like it or I do not like it, I must understand the owner's point of view. The owner may be a single person, the owner may be an organization, the owner might be multinational, but I must understand what it is that the owner wants and why. When you do that, you'll see a lot of other things fall in place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. We would, Bhaskar can come in now. Bhaskar is ready.
Yeah, Professor, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. Good evening.
See, my question is what kind of certificate will be awarded by IIMC? It's online or hybrid or offline certificate? So
this is I would take to answer this question. So these are professional certificate programs. So this is a certificate program. So you'll be receiving a certificate, the design we had shared with you during the course of the presentation here. So it will be a certification. It will be an online program certificate, right?
So online program certification will be awarding.
Absolutely.
Okay. What about this recording? Every session's recording will be extending till the end of the course, or only for particular period will be providing to the participants?
So as per the current prevailing guidelines of the institution, the day you complete the program, the live class, the recording will be available for the next 7 days. After 7 days, the recording will be taken off, So within those 7 days would be there for your review, right? You can review the classes within those 7 days.
How many sessions will be there every Monday? 2 or 3?
So sessions are generally for every Monday 6:30 to 9:30. It will comprise of 2 sessions with a break in between.
Okay, you mean 1.5?
1.5 hours, yeah, each session.
1.5 hours. Okay. Study material will be provided by institute or particular professors of the subject?
The study material will be, provided by the institute and the program directors also. So it will be uploaded on a central kind of a LMS. So if there are any pre-read materials that will be provided by the faculty as well within time, so that you can refer that and come back to the lessons. So that will be provided electronically, during the whole course of the program.
Okay. Most of our colleagues, face to some another IIM.
Right.
Some of the professors haven't shared their study material. They ignore to share the study material. That's why I'm asking.
We can't.
Okay, Pulak, can I take 2 minutes to just
yes, please.
share a little bit about what we expect from you. We told you so far what we will deliver, right? What is the content of the program?
Right.
What we expect from you is like this. Say each of these sessions, right? You have this is a 93 contract, around 93, roughly 1993 contract hour program. Apart from the campus visits, you will have around weekly sessions. So every week, your class broken into 2 1.5 hour sessions.
Okay.
For each of the sessions, most of the sessions will require you to have a pre-read material. So there will be a case, a problem, an assignment to be done. Usually in a group, we'll form groups. So students will have to pre-read that material before coming to the class and prepare their answers to the assignment questions that are there. And every class starts from your solutions to the problem, right? So this is not a hands-off course. It's a hands-on course which will require your participation in the program. And so if you are planning to join the program, look at it like this. It's 3 hours every week that you are in class, and maybe 3, 4 to 6 hours every week outside the class. Your personal reading or some interactive group work, right? You can do it over Zoom. Nowadays, many platforms are there, right? So that is what we are expecting from you as a participant in the program, for you to be able to absorb this thing.
That we will do, Professor. My question is from Professor side. Some of the professor, they hesitate to share some of the
all
material.
Those things don't happen in IIM Calcutta.
One of the IIM institute, one of the most of our friends are based.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen in IIM Calcutta.
You see, is the coordinator for that.
If you do not have material for the next class, the class cannot happen. Understand that?
No, not study
Every
material.
class has a pre-material, right?
No,
reading material.
Study material, and those who are presenting, in the class sessions.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
The PPTs, Professor, sharing in the session.
I think what he's saying is, what he's trying to say is that the PPTs that the faculty would have shared, that was not being shared with the students. That is what he's saying.
Normally, they are shared with the students.
Normally, it is shared, but please understand, Bhaskar, please understand it. It is very important that you attend the class very carefully, right? Many classes are designed that way. You attend the class, you note it, you will absorb everything. And you have that recording for 7 days, right? In some cases, some individual faculty may also choose not to share the PPT widely. But usually it's not the case. For instance, in my classes, I do not use a PPT at all. So there's nothing there. You are in the class, you will have everything. You are not in the class, you don't hear the recording, you will not get it.
Okay. And in my case, I'll have a 3-hour lecture. I'll have a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint will have 10 slides. I'll share the 10 slides. But what good is that? Unless you're in class, you're listening. Those 10 slides are only guideposts for my what I'm going to be talking about. I think what you must recognize is that this is completely interactive. This is completely interactive.
Yes, I totally agree. And there is overall, extensive participation from the student side also, and faculties make it very engaging, and it's definitely not going to be a one-sided delivery for sure. So, absorption from your side also, delivery from the faculty side, and there is definitely going to be a lot of cross learning as well.
Definitely, and if you are enrolling means, interestingly attend the sessions and whatever the pre-read material, so we'll go through before running the sessions. So, issues facing some of our friends. That's why, I raised this question.
Sure, Bhaskar.
Like this is the
Mr. Reddy,
everyone will assure, every institute will assure, but they had a bitter experience.
Bhaskar, I think
before registering this webinar, I had an inquired with their institute style of teaching and study materials, what kind of study material they are providing.
Yeah. So Bhaskar, what we can do?
Hefty fees. Why I am raising this question? When we are paying hefty fees and spending 1 year every week, 1 year, that's we should be satisfied with the course and a study material as well as the professor sessions also.
Bhaskar, again, let me remind you, your understanding, your experience of the course is far, 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 far more than just the study material. Study material just maybe say 2% of what you get in this course. So don't get bogged down by that study material.
No, for
are you getting it?
Yeah.
So let's move on.
And
there are many other questions. Let's take the other questions.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are waiting for the questions. Bhaskar will come back to you, offline. So we will definitely reach out to you and discuss. Rohit, you can move on. I mean, Rohit, you can come in next.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. My question is this certificate program is useful while I'm targeting for leadership role in the organization?
So can I respond to it very quickly? Right.
Please,
the certificate will be useful, but more important will be how you get transformed in this program. So your own thinking, the way you talk in meeting, that will be your certificate. Right. So look at the certificate at two levels. One is the artifact, right? That piece of paper you will get. It has its own value. You'll have a lot of friends within this, a lot of peer networking. You'll know many more people. Some may be hiring themselves, right? So some of your own batchmates might hire you for another role. Separate aspect. The third aspect is what we are claiming is we have seen this for 14 years. People get transformed. The way you think, the way you talk in a meeting, the way you approach your boss, that gets transformed. And that is another kind of certificate which is embodied. It's there in your body, in your talk, in your thinking, in your in your brain, in your perspective.
Yes.
Focus on that perspective.
Yes. Sometimes what's happening, the interviewer, they are from such big IIMs like Ahmedabad or other organizations, IIMs, and they take it like it is a certificate program, or you have just done it's like online program, or they not take it very respectfully.
So Mr. Prasad, if I may answer.
Sure.
Now, clearly, this is not a replacement for a 1-year full-time residential MBA. Correct. It's not a replacement for a 2-year full-time residential MBA. It is not meant to be.
Sure.
They are different programs. This is a 6-month program, and it has very different aims. The point of introducing you to leadership is to allow you to think like a leader. When Professor Saha says it is transformational, we introduce to you what kinds of ways in which you view the world. Now, viewing the world as a leader means making choices. Should I stay in this business or not? Should I try a new line or not? Should I get into a new area or not? Now, how do you make those choices? Now, that's what leadership is about. Now, if you go for a job interview after this program, What it will reflect in the kinds of responses you have to questions. No recruiter will treat a 1-year full-time MBA or a 2-year full-time MBA and a certificate as being equivalent. It is not. Nobody will do it. And they should not. But it's in the way you will respond in interviews which will change. And what Professor Saha is telling you is that in 14 years, we have seen participants view the world differently from the time they joined the program to the time they left the program.
Right, sir. True. Well said, sir. I have one more question. I hold 8 years of work experience, and I'm happy with my organization. It's an MNC of United States and very reputed name in the healthcare. So for the time being, I look after one territory, and my employer, they want me to handle the territory well because I'm doing well in terms of generating business from this territory. After completion of strategy management program, how will I approach my HR that I want to go for a senior role or strategic manager role or some better roles? Because they want me to work over here, give profitability. And
Mr. Prasad.
Yes, sir.
You have got a job. You're happy in that job, right?
Happy with job, but I want to go for senior.
Everybody wants to move forward, Mr. Prasad.
Yes.
I'm not. If you will allow me to respond, then I will.
Sure, sir.
Right? Now,
yes.
The fact that you're happy, but still means that you want to move ahead.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, this program will allow you to see what you are doing currently differently. All right?
Yes.
Now, because you will see it differently, it will reflect in the choices that you will make. When it reflects in the choices that you make, your organization, your HR will view you differently. So when you then say that I have done this, I've achieved this, and so on, and the path you have taken, your organization will say, all right, there is some content to what you're saying. Now, no program can guarantee mobility. Mobility comes from inside and from the organization that you're in, or you leave. But repeatedly, what Professor Saha and I are telling you, this program is about changing mindsets. This program is about asking a different set of questions about a different set of issues and bringing that difference back into your work. It's not abstract. It's about doing whatever you're doing differently.
Fine. We can we move on, Professor, to the next person?
Yeah, there are a lot of questions, so we'll have to quicken a little bit.
I think Ramakant, if you can quickly ask your question, because I think we are already over time, but we will try and try to finish it off, wrap it off first, and then later on, whatever queries are there, we can respond to it subsequently.
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, thanks to the professors and the team for inviting me for this program. I'm very happy and excited for this. But actually, I'm joining from Germany. I do have a very specific question, like if I have to come for the in person to the campus for 3 times a visit, is it possible that I could join online, or is it not possible? I have to be there in the class. So how would that be the case? Will there be any exemptions for this, or what would I benefit if I come there?
Yeah, so right now the rules are, as we conduct it, the campuses are compulsory, right? We do not have an online version of it, right? You can't get access to what is happening on the campus online. Now, the benefit of the campus, again, let me speak from experience of all the people who have gone through this program. Once they come to campus and do the campus part, they say we would have loved that the whole program was on campus. Right. So you must understand that online helps us reach you in Germany without you giving up your job, continuing on your full-time job, right? So that's the complementarity. But it's only that much, right? You come to campus, you are in this, say we'll take you through 8 hours of classes in a classroom, totally away from your work. The level of absorption of the concept that you will have is exponentially better than what you will have on the online mode. Right, and that is from experience of everybody. So this 10-day campus component is a very important element of the design. And when we first started off, I still remember we had just one campus visit, I think, and it was students' feedback. Participants told us you should have more. You should have more at this, more campus visit at the middle, at this stage, at that stage. So it has gone through many rounds of experiments. Still, we have frozen this kind of design where we'll bring you on campus for 10 days. Those 10 days are extremely, extremely intensive. So I wouldn't like anybody to miss that campus thing. Yeah, thank you.
Somesh?
Yeah, very good evening to one and all. It is my pleasure to be a part of this seminar. First of all, like I was just saying your clients that the batches which was being completed, the 14th batch, the majority of the clients were from FMGC or IT sector, like Infosys here and there. My question would be like, I'm there from EduTech, right? So definitely the strategy management or the leadership management happens here also, right? So my direct question would be that, is this program will be effective much for my wing also out?
Yeah, so one way to look at it is like this. See, the concepts that we do is industry agnostic.
Right.
Correct. So whether it will apply in a certain form in EdTech, certain other form in manufacturing.
Right.
Variables would differ, but the conceptual frameworks would be similar. So there's nothing like you teach EdTech strategy. We don't teach EdTech strategy. We teach you strategy. Applied in EdTech, right? It's applied, and you will have application cases across industries. You will do manufacturing, you will do IT services, you will do internet, FMCG marketing, internet e-commerce, all kinds of different contexts. We'll do talk about governments, we'll talk about wars, world war, and all of that.
Okay.
So it's not, the context is not very important, right? It's agnostic. So that is not a major worry. And we had people in this program from EdTech sector as well. We have people from the military, right, in this program, from government, senior government functionaries were there in this program.
So like Professor, like just to conclude that from my end is that the best example after joining for this program would be like if I'm just going for one day vacation, so wherein I carry everything of my 10 days, which is not required at all. So grooming and everything that will be done in this program where what need to be carried out on the right way or right direction. So basically I'll be learning things like right people on the right seat or right decision or right time. That is what I'm just seeking from you people. Definitely you people will help us out in this journey. Definitely we need to shell out our precious time for you also. We need to interact with you people for three hours per week.
Sure. We'll be happy if you are with us. Thank you.
And just wanted to know, the campus visit will be acquired in this fees or how? Is that add-on? Campus visits?
No, it is a part of this fees only.
Part of this fees. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Dilpreet? Dilpreet, you can come in.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good evening, everybody. So my question was that post the, once we complete this 6 months course, what benefits would we be having as an alumni? Obviously, I've took up the part where you said that we'll be getting a 5% discount on the other courses which we'll be going through here. So anything else, maybe an access to some portal or something where, we could be. So I would like to understand that.
Yeah, so I think, as I mentioned in the previous statement that, well, you will be definitely getting access to the alumni portal. It is a alumni portal. You will also get a specific email ID with a IIM Calcutta extension name, domain extension, through which either you can create your login or you can use your personal ID to also create a login. And there will be an ample opportunity to network within that overall, ecosystem overall. And so that is what benefits you are going to get as an alum, of the executive education alum of IIM Calcutta. And already about 27,000 people have graduated out of the long duration programs. So the entire community will be available for interactions, right?
Dilpreet, you need to unmute.
Yeah, Pulak, I will have to log
Yes.
off in a few minutes because I have
no issues. We will take the rest of the questions, whichever is possible to be responded. If there are any technical questions related to academics, we will definitely pass it on to you so that we can respond to them over
so I'm there for 5-7 minutes more.
5-7 minutes. Okay, fine. That'll be good. Surajit, you can come in now.
Especially if you can take up academic questions.
Yeah,
that will be useful.
So any academic related question regarding the content, so that part professors can answer.
So good evening, everyone. Okay. Should I?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So I'm Surajit from
Surajit, are you logged in from 2 devices or something?
No,
Please reduce the volume. Please reduce the volume
of your laptop then. Yeah.
I've logged in laptop actually. Okay. So thanks for the great insight about the program. So that's very helpful. Only one quick question due to the present work requirements and commitment, somehow we could not attend any live session because the program is mainly about the interaction which we have to do with the
there is too much Pulak. There is too much echo.
We are unable to follow you because I think you are using a speaker or something which is echoing back. So I think we'll come back to you, Surajit. I think we'll move on to Rajesh. Rajesh P.
Sir, if you don't mind, Dilpreet here. I was not able to unmute myself.
Yeah, Dilpreet.
Thank you for your answer. I have one more question that, though I am very happy with my job and I'm doing very well, I'm basically from a pharma sector. Do we also have any opportunity for placement assistance? And when I talk about placement assistance, it purely means where I have a good option or maybe an opportunity there once I learn from you or from all the esteemed professors. So anything about this where I could have an understanding?
So none of the executive programs portfolio offers any direct placement facility. But, being an alum and having an access to the alumni portal with the opportunity for you to network around, the entire ecosystem of people around, there will be ample opportunity for you. So that opportunity definitely will enhance once you complete the program. And of course, that will enable you to move further. But no, there is no direct employment support as such. Right?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Myself, KP Baghel. Can I ask some query?
We'll come back to you, Mr. Baghel. We'll move on to Rajesh. Rajesh is, I think he raised his hand for some time.
Yes. Thank you so much. So my question is, first of all, thank you very much for this program in terms of understanding. Professor Saha and Professor Mohanty, this question specifically regarding my selection of this course. I'll quickly give you a snapshot of being in the industry working for 23 years. I started as a sales officer with Cadbury's and then worked myself up to becoming a senior vice president with Landmark Group Dubai now. Pretty much most of it through hard work, learning through hit and trials and, very high level of, consciousness and curiosity to learn new things and new processes and always trying to contribute beyond what I can do. I extremely worked myself very hard on this. My question is, if you could guide me in terms of the course, in terms of, is this the right course? I worked with Metro Cash and Carry. I went through a regional development center in Singapore. They told me to do a program in finance for non-finance. Back then, This is around 10 years back. Obviously, I switched organization, went into a new role. It's been always a roller coaster ride in terms of the professional side. Now, my question is this a good program? I haven't done any program since last 23 years, ever since I did my course in National Institute of Sales, Delhi, way back 1998. After that, I haven't had a formal education. Now, I think I want to just brush up a bit of my skill, understand, and strategy is a word which comes every now and then to people like us. This might be also a very relevant question for a lot of people if they've grown in the ranks. So, question to either Professor Saha or Mohanty, if they can just guide me on this piece. Thank you.
My short answer, one-line answer would be, if you are using the word strategy in your work already, then better come into this course, because my realization interacting with a lot of senior managers is most often extremely misused. And if you really look into Indian organizations, Indians are especially poor in strategic thinking. If I compare with, say, Chinese cohorts or, say, European cohorts or American cohorts of senior managers, Indians will fare much poorer in strategic thinking. They are great operational guys, but far poorer in strategic thinking. Right?
Sorry.
So
yeah,
that's my answer. Rest is up to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would like to add just one line to what Professor Saha said, that we've had people with 15, 20 years of work experience who have been in this program, and they have gained from the program. So I think, therefore, there would be something for you in the program, but again, it's up to you to what you make of the program, given your experience.
Okay, I think that answers. But you say, in short, finance for non-finance, is this course will be much better for me because I've already.
No, we don't teach you finance for non-finance.
I understand.
No. This is not a finance for non-finance course.
I understand that. I believe what I'm trying to say, if I have to pick between the two, this one will be more relevant, is your recommendation to me. That's what I'm asking. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks. Appreciate it.
But pick up a little bit of finance also, right?
I mean, I would like to, as much as as I said, I've
you can do it on your own.
23 years.
Pick up a simple book, and because you'll use financial concepts here, we'll assume that you understand basically.
I've been handling P&L. I've been handling complex P&L.
We'll require you to understand a little bit of P&L account. Don't get surprised by a P&L, right? You should know how it looks like. That kind of prior understanding is enough for this course. You don't have a finance.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Edwin, you can come in, please.
Hi, good evening to one and all. Two separate questions is what I had. First one is, with the modern trade, things have moved towards data analysis and those kind of courses. And it is very closely linked to strategic thinking or strategic decision making. So how much weightage of data analysis and things related to data management is included in this course? This is my first question. And second one would be, how much or what are the measurable skill sets that will be added to my profile or to my forte post completion of this course, which will be a clear highlight to my CV or my profile when I'm hunting or maybe willing to take up a new position in my organization?
Yeah. I'm amused by your question, but let me respond. So it's like this. So look into it. So data analytics will give you the tools on how to use data, right? How to do the analytics job. Like marketing will tell you, or branding will tell you how to do marketing, but it will not tell you when to do marketing and when to prioritize marketing, right? Strategy will tell you that. Remember, business analytics is still a functional way of looking at a thing. Doesn't like way you look at marketing, you look at branding, you look at production, you look at audit, you look at finance, you also look at analytics. Analytics is a separate department nowadays. But what do you do with that analytics? When do you use it? When do you automate a process? When do you not automate a process? When do you prioritize something? When you not prioritize something? That is what strategy gives you, right? It's the way the owner of the firm looks at the firm. And the owner at the firm doesn't look at analytics because it is fashionable and trendy. They look at it because analytics does something specific for the owner. Right? So if you are an analytics guy, you do this course, you'll understand when and why will the CEO prioritize my department of analytics and when he or she will not. Correct? Which is a question we often do not face. Is that clear? So, and in terms of what it will add to you, can you measure it? See if you get changed as a person, your perspective change. Would you be able to measure it? You will not be able to measure it, but everybody you are conversing with will get a sense of that change. Right? Look at it like that. The way you will talk in meetings will change, and your organization will notice that. Okay, so that's my response. Thank you.
Srinivasa can come in.
Hi everyone, good evening. So myself, I'm Srinivas. So I'm having only one question. So I'm having almost 15 years of experience. I'm working as a program manager in visa company in Bangalore. So I'm having the MBA, B and MTech from the aerospace background. I worked in the international locations also, and then even in MBA operations. Currently, I'm doing the COO program from the IIM Calcutta. So even for that also company is telling okay, course completion is not a thing actually, but whenever we need to see the opportunity to put up you in the particular opportunity. So I'm just asking how I can able to utilize again this doing this certification. I know that strategy is a very good one. We have to see the situation and do that. So, but getting an immediate elevation that's what the question actually. We are keeping adding the certificate, but again at the same time we need to utilize that. Then only we can able to adopt some of the strategies if you are in the role actually. But how confidently I can able to move by taking up this course actually? I'm only doubting on that actually.
Yeah, that only you can answer after you do the course.
Yes. That's really up to you. And I mean, if you feel that you will do this program and it will immediately get you a new position, that may or may not happen.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Okay. Yes.
But will it open doors for you? Almost certainly.
Okay, that's what actually doors will go to open, right?
But whether doors open or not depends on you.
Yes. How we will go to align to that actually.
That is right.
Okay. How confident we are with after the program. Thank you, sir. I'm done with it.
Okay, Mr. KP Baghel. Mr. Baghel, you can come in if you want.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes,
Good evening, everyone. Myself, KP Baghel. First of all, I would like to very appreciate for this program, conducting both this program. My experience is more than 25 years in automotive industry and other manufacturing industries. And I have a question that how can I take benefit after completion of this program? And what is the complete duration and charges of this program? And these are the question. And any will support from your side for placement and any have it data like all the candidate who attend this program, how much percentage of conversion results after attending this program, please.
I think we will take this, Mr. Baghel. We will respond to your query just after we finish off the other one, because these are general queries which we can answer for the common interest of everyone once again. So I think we'll move on to Somnath. Mr. Somnath, you can ask your question.
Please unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Somnath, and I'm a mechanical engineer into automotive industry for last 16 years. I'm a BTech graduate, and post that I have not done any basic MBA or any course I have not taken. So my question is, for this course to be taken, is it important to have a basic MBA level degree or few basic concepts like, you spoke about P&L and balance sheet. I have seen that high level, but I don't know the other stuff about the finance. So is it really important to go through that before taking this course, or if some support is required during this course for those concepts to get clear, will be provided?
Yeah, so I will look at it this way. You can either, so this program will assume that you understand all the functions a little bit, but that understanding can come through education, that you have done an MBA before, so you understand at least
I have not
theoretically,
done.
conceptually. Right. So that is one route. So you don't have that route.
Yeah.
But you have, in your years of experience, if you have understood different functions, you have interacted with different functions well enough, or you had multifunctional roles, you can learn multiple functions through your experience as well. So that will also suffice. Right. It's not necessary that you need to have an MBA, but you need to have an idea of different functions, either through education or through experience.
Yeah, I do understand what every function in the organization does.
So
like
that's enough.
But I have not been a part of that function. I've been into sourcing and supply chain processing all through my career.
Yeah. Okay.
That's sufficient. As long as you have a sense of what the P&L looks like and you understand that even at a high level, that's sufficient for you to be able to participate in this program.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Jyotirmay, any other raised hand yet?
No, we don't have any hand raised.
And I think in any case, Professor Saha has to leave, and and I will leave with him.
Okay. So I think I will also respond to Mr. Baghel's query.
So let me take leave of all of you. And,
yes.
At least
Thank you
some
so
of you
much,
will be happy to see you in class.
Yes. I also will take your leave, and I hope some of you will join. A lot of you will join. We're really happy to see you on campus and on virtual classroom as well. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Patnaik. Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Thank you, Mr. Banerjee.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time, Professor Mohanty, Professor Saha. You have been extremely busy, but still you gave time for this webinar. We are grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Baghel, just to respond to your query, this is basically a 6 months program. We have live classes every Monday evening, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Right? And this also has a overall 12-day campus module. So it is spread across 3 visits. So you have to visit IIM Calcutta 3 times. Once during the initial part, once during the middle, and once during the end. Right? So overall, that is the breakup, and your course fee is 4,30,000 plus GST, which can be paid in installments. And you also have a easy loan facility, which we can also provide, through other partners, banking institutions, which we have, right? So, for the information of all, although we have published a number here, there is a direct number of our academic advisor. We also have posted a link here on the chat also, which contains all information. However, just after the webinar is completed, within a few hours, you will be getting the entire details, the brochure, the link, and the contact details over your email IDs also. But in the meantime, of course, if you have, definitely if you have any queries, you can reach out to us. I will also try and share the number, just 1 second, so that you can note it down. One minute. Yeah. I hope you are seeing the screen here.
Yes.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay. So, this is the email ID. You can reach out to Mr. Mohammad Nafis. He's the program manager. You can also reach out to this direct, contact number. Our academic advisors are available to assist you with any information that you would need. And of course, you will be receiving the entire information over mail also as well. Our last date to apply for this program is 8th of February. So we have about 4 or 5 days in hand. So of course, you need to rush in and apply soon. Already many people have applied. They have been shortlisted. The selection process is basically, you for eligibility purpose, you need to have minimum 7 years of work experience with 50% in graduation or post-graduation. And then you have to apply online over the link, which will be provided to you over mail, and with all your requisite documentation and everything. And after that, these applications will be forwarded to the program directors, who will actually go through your application and would announce a selection for you. Post selection, you have to make your payment of first installment fee and move on with the program. That is the overall format. So the earliest you apply, it will be better. Any assistance that you would need, you can reach out to us. So thank you for your time on a Saturday evening, and we wish you all the very best and look forward for your joining soon.